In this video, I will be introducing the Upcycle product project. Um, this is a project that we've done for many years. It's a class favorite. The students really enjoy doing it. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time and go through a video and introduce this to you. And then, obviously, guys, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Let me help you develop your product in any way that I can. I'm a free consultant when it comes to these products. Like, I can give you advice on not only how to make your product better, but maybe how to make sure that you are getting your gold grade on this project. Um, let's go ahead and get it started, and then I'll talk through a number of different examples and things like that. So the driving question is, how and why are products produced? So the goal of this project is to examine the incentives, processes, and cost of production in a free market society. Another objective is to create something that you're proud of and something that you will use for years. So this is something that you are to make for yourself, something that you want to use. Obviously, you can make something for a parent, you can make something for a friend, you can make something for a teacher, you can make something for anybody, but I want it to be something that you're proud of. So starting out, let's talk about the big picture here. So each student will plan and create a product of utility and value from recycled or upcycled materials that reflects a solution to a specific problem. Let's talk about through multiple parts of this. First of all, why are we using upcycled and recycled materials? In order to keep our marginal cost of production down. If you're using pallet wood and you can get a pallet for free, then that means you don't have any cost for that input material. And therefore, we're going to keep our marginal cost of production lower, because that is the ideal cost of that material, zero. So that's kind of a big picture goal. Utility and value. I'll scroll down here and give you guys some examples on this. Utility, or sorry, value is, in other words, a stranger would be willing to pay for it, right? And you want to try to make sure you avoid materials that decrease value, like cardboard, soft plastics, duct tape. So let's talk about this, and let's use the examples here on the prompt itself. Here's some color pencil holder marker holders, right? While it has utility, it is useful. It is not of value. People will just make this themselves. Again, over here, if this is your end table, right, or bedside table, and it's really just a crate with a cardboard box on the top of it, it has no value. A stranger would not pay for that. They're just making themselves if they're okay with that. Utility is something important too. So it is usefulness, right? So it's useful to complete a task or solve a problem. Things like art or decorations do not have utility, right? You can add utility to art and decorations by making it do something else, right? I've had things like coat racks that were artistic, things like that. An example that I use here is this little Chia Pet guy. And the idea is this: like, somebody may be willing to pay for that because they think it's cute or it looks like their Uncle Jim, but it has no utility. At best, it is a paperweight. And so it's important that we understand that it must have usefulness and value. Back up. A solution to a specific problem. In other words, don't just make something just to make it. You need to have the idea that this is going to fulfill the needs or wants of a consumer who has that same problem as you. That's the big picture there. A couple of things. All labor should be performed by students. Obviously, guys, ask for help when is needed, and this is a chance to learn how to perform new tasks. So if your grandpa's got a wood shop and you want to make something out of wood, absolutely ask for their help to teach you how to run the saw, not do it for you, right? And you'll see in a few minutes why this is so important. Also, painting an old product is not creating a new product. So buying a a chest of drawers at the thrift store and painting it with chalkboard paint does not make it a new product. It's still just a chest of drawers. There is a portfolio in which you will be filling out. I will take you through this template in just a few minutes, but we're also going to be recording a sales presentation, right? So it's a commercial. That's what it is. So it's a marketing ad or commercial that you're going to be doing here. So all marketing presentations should include simply a 30 to 45 second video in length, no more, no less. The explanation of the utility of the product. In other words, like you want to explain what it does, what problem it solves, and then what the retail sales price would be. Right? Couple of things to think about here. You can have television commercials, infomercials, digital animations, sales pitch to a possible distributor. I've had live skits where people just stand up and do a skit, farmers market sales pitch, but this should not be an explanation of the product and how you made it. Please know that you will not get credit if you record a video that shows how you made this birdhouse out of scrap wood, right? That's not the goal. It's how are you selling? This is a marketing ad for our presentation, not a how-to. There's some great examples here. And remember, I didn't say that you had to be in the video. I've had all kinds of great things through the years, bringing in celebrities. I've had all kinds of stuff before. So be creative, use your strengths. Obviously watch these examples and you can see some good things here. So the video and the portfolio must be saved on the student's Google Drive and turned in through Google Classroom. This is a non-negotiable. You can't put it on YouTube. You can't put it on iMovie and try to email it to me. No, it's a non-negotiable. It has to be on Google Drive and it has to be turned in through Google Classroom before the day before the project is due, right? So in class that day, we will be watching them if you record with your phone, you may need to download the Google Drive app on the device to upload pictures and the video to Google Drive, and that's fine. So let's take us through the template. So this will be shared with each student. And so each student will fill out this template. And for example, you want to put the title of your product. So you need to give it a name, right? Give it a name, be creative, find something that stands out from that product and figure out a way to name it. You're also going to create a slogan or a catchphrase for your product. Again, this is marketing. This is thinking about how can producers impact demand of a product. Give it a good title. Give it a good slogan or catchphrase, and you catch people's eye. You are to insert a picture of your product here and also put your title. Your product. Don't leave this picture here. I just put that as a space saver. As we go through, a couple of things. You want to make sure you address the specific problem being solved in 2 or 3 sentences here, but be specific. You want to go through the steps of production. This is just simply a bullet pointed list. If there's 10 steps of production, there's 10 bullet points. That's fine. You also are to include, important, 5 pictures of students performing labor involved in the production. Right? So you must take pictures as you produce it. If you use a saw, I want a picture of you using the saw. If you painted it, I want a picture of you painting it. Right? Remember, this is not your parents' job. It's yours. You're to put an itemized material and sourcing list together. So this is a bullet pointed list of all materials you use in the production and where you got those materials. So I'm going to scroll up here and just use this table as an example. So this is a pallet with drawers from an old like chest of drawers taken out, or cabinets or whatever, and inserted into the pallet that has been stained, that has been has wheels put on it, casters put on it, and then has a glass top applied. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to explain to me where you got the glass top, where you got the pallet, where you got the casters, and where you got the drawers to go into it. That will all be in the itemized material sourcing and cost. So, okay, let's say for this whole thing, you got everything upcycled, the pallet, the drawers, you took the casters off of an old piece of furniture that you guys weren't using anymore, and you got the glass from an old table that your grandma had. Great. Then that is what you put as your source where you got the materials, right? So that's what I want to know is where did you get this materials and how much did each one cost? In that example that I just gave you, all those would be zero. What if you had to buy screws to put it all together? Fine. It took you, let's say it took you 20 screws, and a box of 100 screws cost $1 for easy math. So if the box of 100 screws cost $1 and you use 20 of them, the cost of your screws was 20 cents. Each input material cost should be included beside that material listed. Next, itemized labor costs at minimum wage. So we're going to say in this that we're paying ourselves minimum wage to do it. And so that costs us, for example, if it takes us 3 hours to do it from start to finish, it costs us $21.75. Be careful on this. If you start on one day and you spent an hour, 2 days later, you spend another hour, and 2 days later, you spend another hour, it's still just 3 hours labor total, right? Some of these may not even take an hour to do once you've gathered your materials, right? And so that's fine too. Just give me an example, or give me a list of how much it cost to do the labor at minimum wage. Don't pay any more than minimum wage. I'm going to make sure I focus on that. Financials, sales price, be realistic, right? Nobody's going to pay $400 for this pallet table, right? Be realistic in what you say. Marginal cost of production, that's your materials cost plus your labor cost. Then marginal profit, that is sales price minus marginal cost of production. Now remember, this has to be a positive number. We're looking to make a profit. So if it took you $30 worth of labor and materials, then that means the least you can charge is $31, right? But we want to make more of a profit than that. So if it takes you $30 to build something that's only worth $20, then don't do it. Choose to do a different product. Next, you're going to look up 2 pieces of competition, products that would be in competition with yours. And again, products that solve the same problem are really what we're looking at. So what if it's not the exact same size or it's not the exact same material? That's okay. I want you to find those things and simply just find it online, copy and paste the link right here. So that I can see, and plus that will help you in developing things like your price and all that fun stuff. Now, this applies to many people. If the product is too big to bring to class, or you are not going to be available to have that product in class, you have an additional part of this portfolio. I would like for everybody to have their product in class, but if not, you have this. You must attach an additional 10 pictures of the finished product, a full 360-degree view. So again, let's think about this. Think about this pallet table. If on the other side, you set this picture up, but on the other side, you didn't have casters, so you just put bricks underneath it, is that going to decrease its value? Of course it is. So I need to see a full 360 of the product to make sure that it is that it has been totally completed. All right. Last thing here, the grading rubric. So how is this thing graded, right? Well, it's simply laid out here. Obviously, the product production is a big part of it, right? So you'll have a project statement due 7 days prior to the project being due. That's 10 points. I will send that out 7 days prior to the project being due. The utility of the product is worth 15 points. The value of the product is worth 15 points. So if you bring me something that has no utility, the highest grade you could possibly make is an 85. If you bring something that has no value, the highest grade you can make is an 85. Right? So be aware to make sure that you get the best grade that you can. You have to have that, right? Next is your marketing ad, your commercial. Length. Again, 3 minutes is way too much for a marketing ad. 10 seconds is not enough to get your point across. So appropriate length, 30 to 45 seconds, no more, no less. Is the price included in the commercial? And is the utility explained as a sales pitch? Again, don't tell me how you made it. Nobody's going to buy something if you tell them how you made it. Instead, tell them why it is worth something, or why it is worth money, and why you have created the product. Then the portfolio. Title, product picture, and slogan are 5 points. The steps of production, including pictures, are 10 points. Financials are 10 points, and competitive analysis is 5 points. Now, remember, guys, like any of my project stuff, this is either 15 points or 0 points. There is no partial utility. There is no partial steps of production. There is no partial price is included in the commercial. It is all or nothing for each one of these steps. Again, guys, this is a project that people have always enjoyed doing. And then last but not least, these are some products that have both utility and value, and examples of things I've had in the past. I've had some great examples of upcycled products in the past that were just better than what the original could have possibly been, because they were made with creativity and upcycled materials. So if you have any questions about this, please let me know, and we will. I'll share this with you on Google Classroom, as well as this is on my website right here under Upcycled Product Project. Let me know if you've got any questions. See you soon.